Model Making Guru is sponsored by eModels.co.uk. Make something awesome. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru here with a special video for my very good friends over at eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Now, eModels are now proudly sponsored by ICM, makers of some of the more interesting military kits available that you've seen us feature on the Monday Night Live show. And to celebrate this new sponsorship, I've been sent their latest, newest release to show you and review. ICM specialise in offering some of the more unfamiliar military subjects, things that you may never have even seen before, and this kit is no exception. This is the Sd.Kfz 247 Ausf.B. I can never pronounce that bit. Ausf.B. I always trip over it. Only 58 of these command and control vehicles were ever produced between 1941 and 1942, and so it's likely that although it shares design features with other similar light armour vehicles of the period, you'll have never seen this one before. Let's take a quick look at the box. Now, if you ignore the entire background, they are kind of really channeling that classic Tamiya white box art style here with a beautifully and crisply painted vehicle. There's a little bit of background information on the side of the box, and there's a line art diagram on this other side. Now, let's crack this open and actually see what we get inside the box. Inside the box we get 7 sprues, including a rubber tyre sprue. I do like rubber tyres. 2 duplicate part sprues that include parts for the steering, the suspension and the wheels themselves. Look at the detail on the hubs there, that's really nice. A sprue for the clear parts, for which most of these aren't required. Now, it's a testament to the uniformity of German military vehicle components in World War II that the company can include this sprue, which looks like it's from maybe a staff car or an Opel Blitz kit or something like that, for just these headlight lenses. The remaining clear parts, these aren't used at all, and these can just happily go in your Greebles box. I'm going to keep this in a small plastic bag to stop these getting scratched up, and I recommend you do the same. And 3 more sprues carrying all the rest of the part count. Now, looking at these sprues, I really kind of getting flashbacks to building similar classic Tamiya vehicle kits in the 80s and 90s, especially some of their smaller vehicles, with their lower part counts and the streamlined build process. Now, those were a product of their time, of course, but there's nothing wrong at all with making kits like that today. They're especially welcoming for beginners and budget-minded builders, and avoid the high part count and all the photo etch extras that many new builders might be put off by. The major difference to those classics, of course, is the quality of the toolings here is far beyond those, with highly detailed crisp sculpts, fine detail and thinner plastic where needed, all made possible by modern CAD design as opposed to actually working from sculpts. Now, it's looking like this is going to make a really nice sort of weekend build or a short palette cleanse project, nothing too major. Let's have a quick look at what else we get in the box. We also have a small sheet of water slide decals that look nice and clear and crisp. I'm not seeing an excess of carrier film at this stage, but of course the proof's in the pudding, and we'll see what these are like when they go on. And lastly, the instruction manual, which thankfully avoids the cheap-looking loose sheets that many manufacturers include in kits at this price range, and instead gives you a proper booklet with crisp, large, uncluttered diagrams. Clearly, they've decided it's better to have many simple steps for construction rather than a smaller, shorter manual with fewer steps crammed with dozens of actions. Take note, certain other manufacturers I don't care to mention right now. Now, I said this was a review, and if I leave things here, it will most certainly not be a review. If I don't put the kit together, then how can I tell you if the kit's worth a purchase, or if there are any issues that you need to be aware of during the build? Now, some channels may think an unboxing is a review, but I do not. After all, you wouldn't review a restaurant based on pictures of food you saw on their website, and you wouldn't buy a car based on looking at it and kicking the tyres. So, without further ado, let's take this from an unboxing to an actual review by actually building and painting it. Cue the montage! And with all that done, the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 247 Ausf.B is build complete. I've been learning that all week. I've only had a few days to work on this, so the weathering is a bit basic, but I tried to channel that classic Tamiya catalogue look we'll remember from our youth. Now, as you can see, I've also added the whip antennae, the first time since probably 1994 that I've stretched a sprue, and plonked it on a simple base, which is not part of the kit. But never mind all that, this is supposed to be a review, so what do I think? Well, in my honest opinion, it's well worth the price and a definite must buy if you like smaller light armour. The details are crisp and the mouldings are excellent. I had no fit issues at all. At the start, I said it harked back to the classic Tamiya military miniatures kits and that it might be a good beginner kit. Well, I need to revise that a bit. Despite the low price and the small part count, I feel this is not at all a beginner kit. It's not super advanced, not super complicated, but I think it's certainly aimed at those with a little building experience and the ability to fend for themselves. Not every piece has a tab and slot, and there are a few places in the instructions where you'll have to pay attention and dry fit stuff to make sure you fully understand what's required. Some of the smaller parts, such as headlights and the mudguard mountings, will stay in place better if you drill the tiny holes out, as they only really have shallow recesses. However, that being said, where pieces don't have sturdy lock and key connections, they do in fact fit together perfectly, and I had no issues at all with fit. You just need to go slowly and pay attention. Now, there are a handful of small errors in the instructions. The viewing slot plates are not correctly numbered. The sprue lists all 6 as one single part number, but the 2 forward plates are slightly different to the other 4. The mudguards are missing moulded detail shown in the drawings, and the wheel assembly shows parts incorrectly. In fact, I would suggest ignoring the wheel construction order completely, instead gluing the brake disc to the axle first and then attaching the wheel to the axle. It kind of made more sense to me when I did it. But this is a new release, and this is in no way a deal breaker. These things can be corrected in future printings. The decals are, as I thought, very nice, durable, and they go on very easily. They gave me no issues at all. So, ultimately, in my opinion, this is a nice little kit with a few minor niggles that can easily be overcome, that more experienced builders can certainly enjoy, and less experienced builders will be able to construct if they go through it slowly and carefully. It's actually nicely surprising that what seems like a low part count budget kit is actually a slightly challenging build packed with detail and a longer than expected build time, and more than worth the price. Anyway, that's going to do us. Thank you very much for watching this review, and remember, you can snag this kit for yourself at eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Adios amoebas! eModels.co.uk. Make something awesome.